All right, let's talk about the biggest question in tech, and frankly, in finance right now. Is all this massive, world-changing hype around artificial intelligence the real deal? Or are we just watching a giant bubble inflate in real time? Today, we're going to figure out if we're building on solid bedrock or just a whole lot of air. Okay, let's just dive right in, because this is the question on everyone's mind, right? You see the soaring stock prices, you see the nonstop headlines, and you hear all these promises of a revolution. But when the numbers get this big, you gotta be a little skeptical. So is the demand actually real? Because, look at this. The scale of what we're talking about is just staggering. Some analysts are projecting that AI could add up to $23 trillion in value to the global economy. A number that huge, well, it demands a closer look. Where is all that value supposed to come from? Now, for most of us, when we hear AI, we think of the stuff we can actually play with on our phones and our laptops, right? You think of chatbots like ChatGPT or those really fun image generators that can whip up a picture of, anything you can imagine. And that stuff is cool, but it's not the whole story, not even close. Yeah, that stuff we see every day, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. The real story, the one that's driving this insane level of investment, is this fundamental industrial shift that's happening completely behind the scenes. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow the money and see where it's really going. So, our first stop is the physical world. I'm talking about the nuts and bolts, the enormous infrastructure build-out that's creating the foundation for this entire revolution. This quote just captures the moment perfectly. We are in the picks and shovels phase of a brand new gold rush. Before anyone can strike it rich with some killer AI app, the mine itself has to be built. And that means a colossal investment in tangible, heavy-duty hardware. And just look at the sheer scale of this build-out. According to Goldman Sachs, all this new hardware is projected to drive a 165% increase in data center power demand by 2030. That is an unbelievable amount of new energy needed just to keep the lights on for this revolution. It's a demand so huge, it's actually creating its own boom in the energy sector. So here's the crucial thing to understand. It's like a chain reaction. These new, complex AI models, they demand immense computing power. So what does that mean? It means you have to build more and bigger data centers. And then you have to fill those centers with specialized AI chips, from companies like NVIDIA. And that, in turn, fuels a massive boom for the entire semiconductor industry. It all flows together. Okay, so we've got the foundation. Now let's move up a layer and see how this powerful new infrastructure is being put to the test in some of the most critical R&D fields on the entire planet. What's so amazing here is the contrast. For centuries, scientific discovery has been this slow, manual, painful process of trial and error. Now we're seeing this fundamental shift to a world where AI can actually predict outcomes, run millions of simulations, and even automate physical experiments in what people are calling self-driving labs. And this isn't some far-off theory. We're seeing incredible real-world examples right now. A company called In Silico Medicine is literally designing new drugs with AI and getting them to human trials at speeds that were unthinkable just a few years ago. Google's DeepMind used AI to discover hundreds of thousands of new materials, discoveries that could have taken us centuries using the old methods. This is where the hype starts to feel very, very real. Okay, so the foundation is built, the tech has been proven in the lab. So what happens next? Well, let's see how all these investments are starting to reshape the absolute core services of our society. The spending is pretty broad, but as you can see, it's heavily concentrated in sectors where processing vast amounts of data to find efficiencies is absolutely critical. We're talking huge investments across finance, healthcare, the public sector, and even education. And for these industries, this isn't just about chasing the latest trend. It's something we could call survival spending. Basically, adopting AI is becoming a baseline necessity just to manage complex regulations, to deliver better services, and frankly, to simply stay competitive in a world that's changing fast. Think about it. In banking, AI systems are working 24/7 to detect and stop fraud in real time. In our schools, AI tools are helping create custom lesson plans that can adapt to each student's unique pace. In government, they're being used to optimize city services like traffic flow. It's becoming the invisible, essential plumbing of our world. So this brings us all the way back to our big question. With all of this real-world spending, all these real-world applications, are we actually in a speculative bubble, or are we truly building a new technological bedrock for our future? Well, when you really look into it, you see there are strong arguments on both sides. The boom case points to real, tangible productivity gains and those genuine scientific breakthroughs we just talked about. But the bubble case? Well, it rightly highlights some sky-high market valuations, serious concerns about energy use, and very real bottlenecks, like a major shortage of skilled people. So, the verdict seems to be this. While the stock prices of some individual companies might be overinflated, maybe way overinflated, the underlying spending on infrastructure, on R&D, and on core business integration, that is real, it's massive, and it's transformative. The shift is real, even if some of the price tags feel a little wild. And that leads us to what might just be the most important takeaway of all. As it turns out, the biggest hurdles moving forward, they might not be financial at all. The real bottlenecks are human and logistical. There is a critical shortage of people with the skills to actually build and manage these systems. There's that immense demand for electricity we mentioned earlier. And finally, there's the huge challenge of building trust, of figuring out the ethical guardrails to make sure this powerful technology is used safely and responsibly. So that leaves us with one final and maybe more important question. It's pretty clear we are building something massive, a new foundation for our economy and our society. The question is, are we building it in a way that's sustainable, that's equitable, and that's ultimately safe for all of us? That's the real challenge we have to solve next. Thanks for tuning in.